Hello everyone, welcome to MasterMatch YouTube channel. I'm really excited to take opportunity to introduce you a new master who just joined our network, Emilia Korczynska, Head of Marketing at Userpilot, a product growth platform. She does all it takes to get more product people over the code barrier with the Userpilot, a code-free product adoption marketing experimentation platform. Emilia, tell us, what is an acquisition channel that takes from 1 to 2 million ARR?
Well, it of course depends on your market and your product, right? But in our case, that was pretty much exclusively organic SEO content. So we were getting roughly 60-70% of all our leads from our blog, so from the organic channel. And that's also where, which took us largely, from 0 to 1, right? And that's also when we decided to really zoom in and focus on this channel, because of course at an early stage, we were still like throwing spaghetti to the wall and doing a lot of different things like webinars, partnerships, Quora, link building, you name it. Of course, they all contributed to the growth to some extent. But, when we took a step back after the first year, we realized that what is really having the biggest impact and what really moves the needle is content. So we went from producing 1 blog post per week to roughly 10, I would say, around 10 per week. So there's 40 blog posts per month. And, I spent the whole year basically trying to crack the code, how to arrange and document the workflow, how to hire content writers, what kind of resources they need to produce quality content, how should we organize the workflow so we can publish regularly and consistently. So this is largely what I've been doing, and this is what has been pretty successful. It ultimately helped us double our revenue in a year again. So I would say I'm quite happy with the outcome. And if anyone wants advice on scaling their content operations and building their content workflow, hiring content writers, etc., I'm more than happy to help from my experience.
And Emilia, how did you get the inspiration for that content?
Well, it's kind of like I can answer this question in 2 ways. Inspiration, it wasn't so much inspiration as basically a data-driven decision. So we just had a look at Google Analytics, ultimately which acquisition channel consistently drove most leads over the period of the past year. And well, it was quite obvious that it was content, but we still had a pretty big content gap between ourselves and our competitors, right? So it just made sense to dedicate the majority of our resources to this channel to close that gap. We also had an advisor who sort of reinforced us in this decision and kind of pointed out the obvious to us, like, well, why aren't you guys doing more of what is already working? When it comes to creating a workflow that works, so that scales, and that allowed us to, ramp up our content output pretty much 10 times. This was just a moment of like random inspiration. I was just reading a lot, talking to a lot of people, because initially we made the mistake of hiring full-time in-house content writers. That didn't work out. 3 out of 4 resigned in the first 3 months. I was like really frustrated and stressed that our systems weren't working. And that's where I went back to the drawing board. And somehow it was like, I don't know, Sunday night, 3 a.m., I had this moment of inspiration when it all clicked. Like I realized, like, well, there are 5 days in the week. We want to publish 40 blog posts per month, right? So that makes 10 per week, that makes 2 per day. And, how many content clusters do we have? How many topics are we publishing on? And I arranged these content clusters into epics and then just assigned 1 freelance writer to each. And, like it just kind of all fell into place. in that moment. Created a presentation, presented it to our team the next day, and they all thought it's a good idea. We started working on it, and the rest is history. It has been working ever since.
Mm-hmm. So how big is your content marketing team at the moment?
Right. It's pretty big, I think. The core content team, so the in-house team is 5 people. So that's myself as head of marketing. Then there is a growth manager who's responsible for the paid channels, but also conversion rate optimization, also a bit of SEO. Technical SEO, on-page SEO, and also a bit of helping with like keyword research sometimes, or deciding like which blog post we should boost with, for instance, backlinks. Then we have our head of content, who was recently promoted to that role. She used to be a content editor. Before that, she was just a content writer. And we just hired another junior content editor to help her. So both of them will be creating briefs for the content writers. And then we have a full-time graphic/web designer who takes care of creating all our visual assets, making sure the blog works, making sure the sign-up forms work, building landing pages, etc., etc. And on top of that core team, we work with freelancers. So we have roughly 10 freelance writers working with us, plus 1 freelance proofreader who's responsible for like the final checks of the content, publishing it, writing social media posts based on the content, and also running, the post through an SEO checklist before it gets pushed to the blog. So that's the team. So altogether around 16 people, I would say.
Oh, wow. Okay, impressive. Okay, I think that you gave us a really clear overview of content marketing. Please tell us what is the best way like MasterMatch can support you?
Right, so always in the hiring mode for content writers. So if you have a content agency, or if you are a content writer yourself, then hit me up. I would love to connect, and maybe we can do a trial task together. So at the moment, mostly that. And apart from that, I'm also dipping my toes in a new acquisition channel, because now we've nailed content as working. I kind of made myself redundant. So I'm trying to work out our outbound marketing. So we've been doing 100% inside sales so far. And that's why I'm also looking forward to meeting people who have successfully done outbound ABM, so account-based marketing, and also demand generation in SaaS.
Okay, I'm sure that we do have help available for you. What are some other ways you can help other people in our community?
Right, so whenever you need advice on scaling your content team, building your content team, building your marketing organization, like what roles you need to hire for when, right? I'm more than happy to chat and advise you on that. Also kind of content from more technical perspective, like how to organize your content hierarchy, so both the website, pages, internal linking, content clusters and the supporting blog pages, how to do keyword research, how to build backlinks, different like tactics for that, and what you should and what you should not do. So if you have any content marketing related questions, I'm very happy to help.
So thank you so much. So if you guys if you guys would like to receive some help from Emilia, please visit our platform, MasterMatch.online, and just submit your request for knowledge or service. The platform finds for you right connections to people in the network of our masters who can share their knowledge and experience with you, so that you can quickly save time on the research and just move quickly with your business objective. Thank you, Emilia, one more time for the time.
Thank you so much, Joanna.
Bye.
Bye.